PR Connections Radio presents.
Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub Recap here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. And on this edition of this show, we are going to be breaking down the most recent game with your Vegas Golden Knights, as they had one heck of a game against the New Jersey Devils. And this is going to be a fantastic game to go over. There's going to be plenty to break down and discuss, and a lot to kind of go down and have some good dialogue about with the Vegas Golden Knights and New Jersey Devils game. Solid game that we had out there in New Jersey to start out the 4-game road stand for your Vegas Golden Knights. Now, before we break all this down, I do want to recommend going to PRConnectionsRadio.com, checking out all the shows we have on the network. We have about a dozen shows on here, including Vegas Hockey Hub. So I would recommend going down, checking out the content. And if we go to the YouTube channel at PR Connections, subscribe and like, as it does help out the network a lot. We also have our social media pages as well. So if you want to go to at Vegas Hockey Hub on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, we are everywhere on social media. And if you want to follow your host, I am on all social medias as well at Ian J. Rachiele. So this game, wow, what a fantastic game this was. There was a lot of great back and forth stuff and a lot of good action between New Jersey and Vegas. Now, getting into the pregame notes, it was announced by the NHL before the game kicked off that Logan Thompson would be named as one of the 3 stars of the week because of his performance in this past week. Now, Logan Thompson, when he went up against Nashville, New York, and Pittsburgh, his stats were phenomenal, and he got acknowledged for it as he went 3-0 last week with a 1.34 goals against average and a 95.6 save percentage. Incredible by Logan Thompson. So he is one of the 3 stars of the week by the NHL. So that's a round of applause by LT. Really solid job being the workhorse in net for Vegas. And he has just done an incredible job. And I have to give a lot of praise to what Logan Thompson has done over the past couple of weeks. He has been incredible in that situation. You also have to talk about the Adin Hill situation, because it has been reported that it is not this game against New Jersey. We all know who was in net, and we'll talk about that later. But it's been reported by Bruce Cassidy that Adin Hill is expected to play and make his return to the Vegas Golden Knights lineup tomorrow in their game against the New York Islanders. So New York Islanders game, that's going to be a fantastic game to watch. We will be at City National Arena at that game doing our Vegas Hockey Hub recap show. So that's going to be an incredible show to break down, with Adin Hill projected to be coming back against the New York Islanders in the next recap, the next game for the Vegas Golden Knights. So amazing news considering what all we have heard over the last couple of weeks. He was supposed to come back against Boston. He was supposed to come back against Colorado, but injuries have prevented that. So Adin Hill projected to come back against the New York Islanders. And we have some NHL All-Star news that we also are going to break down. It has been reported by the NHL that Kyle Connor will be replacing Jack Eichel in the NHL All-Star game. So unfortunately for Vegas Golden Knights fans, our worst confirms have come true, as there will be no Vegas Golden Knights at the NHL All-Star game. And I'm okay with this. And I'm going to explain why I'm okay with this. Because, you know what? Having no NHL All-Star representative, it's okay. Because if we win a Stanley Cup, if in June we're raising another Stanley Cup, we are back-to-back champs, I don't think anyone is going to care about the All-Star game. All right? If we take care of business, if Vegas does what they need to do, and they're raising that Stanley Cup once again, no one, and I mean no one's going to look back at January and they're going to frown about the fact that Adin Hill wasn't in the All-Star game. They're not going to sit there and be upset that Mark Stone wasn't an All-Star. they're not going to look back and be ashamed that someone like, Jonathan Marchessault is not in the All-Star game. So as your host, I have no problem with them being no All-Star. Kyle Connor, he has done an amazing job in Winnipeg this year. I've been watching him very closely. He has done a stellar job this season. I have no complaints about him being in the All-Star game. Now, a little minor note as well, Connor Bedard, he was taken out because of injury. Vincent Trocheck, he will be replacing him in the All-Star game. So there were two swaps. But yeah, Kyle Connor from the Winnipeg Jets replacing Jack Eichel when it comes to the NHL All-Star team. And that's just something that is going to be noticeable. Now, the one last pregame note is who is in net for the Vegas Golden Knights, because for the sixth game in a row, and I will repeat that again, for the sixth game in a row, LT Logan Thompson in net for your Vegas Golden Knights. After having an incredible week this past weekend, and they're having a 3 stars of the week in the NHL, to have Logan Thompson be back in net once again, that is a very solid indication that the Vegas Golden Knights are trusting him, Aiden Hill coming back, that this will be a moment that Logan Thompson will be able to really sit there and really accomplish what he has done the past 2 weeks, and that is be the rock, be a steady force in net for the Vegas Golden Knights. So getting into the game itself, we were seeing red as we were at the Prudential Center in New Jersey. There was red jerseys all around the arena, as this was the first game of a 4-game road stand for your Vegas Golden Knights. And getting into the action itself, and it didn't even take about 5 minutes into the game for the Vegas Golden Knights to make an impression, as Pavel Dorofeev with his 7th goal of the season, with a nice assist by Chandler Stevenson. Now, there was originally some speculation that Chandler Stevenson scored the goal here, but after kind of looking at it and doing some replays, it was determined that Pavel Dorofeev was the one who scored the goal here, the 7th of the season. And I really like this line here. When it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights, the chemistry of the second line with Dorofeev, Stevenson, and your captain, they have gelled really well. And considering Pavel Dorofeev is the youngest on that line, he seems like he's actually playing way older and way more mature than his age would be going on. So Pavel Dorofeev doing an incredible job in this game. And once again, I have to give praise to Chandler Stevenson for this assist here, because he really set up the play to Pavel Dorofeev to set this up correctly and get it to a 1-0 situation out there in New Jersey for your Vegas Golden Knights. And, when we stop and analyze and when we stop and look at what the Vegas Golden Knights have done, the top 6 has done solid. Now, Nick Waugh being in place of Jack Eichel because of the injury that happened to him, we all know that. But to have Jonathan Marchessault, Ivan Barbashev, and Jack Eichel primarily on line 1, then you've had Dorofeev, Stevenson, and your captain on line 2. There is probably no better, or probably one of the best top 6 in all of hockey that I can think of. I mean, I know there's probably 2 or 3 teams that you can mention that have incredible top 6 alongside Vegas for sure, but I would put them top 3, no doubt, when it comes to the NHL. When you look at all 32 teams and their top 6 forwards, Vegas has to be towards the top of that list just because of what they do and how productive they are on the top 6 for your Vegas Golden Knights. And that top 6 did help out as your Vegas Golden Knights ended up getting a 1-0 start in this game. It was a solid intro. The first 10 minutes were really solid for Vegas. There was multiple opportunities to get the puck in the back of the net, and Vegas was taking advantage. The energy was there. The hustle was there. Now, unfortunately, halfway into the first period, Zach Whitecloud would get a tripping penalty against Cal Foote. So Zach Whitecloud would go to the penalty box, and Vegas would be on the penalty kill for the first time in this game. But the great news for Vegas is that similar to what's happened for the past couple of games, their penalty kill has been efficient. Their penalty kill has been doing their job. And you have to give a lot of respect, a lot of respect to the penalty kill because they've stepped up. Now, anyone who's watched my recap shows back in mid-December all the way until like maybe the beginning of January, you know that I was complaining a lot about the power play and about the penalty kill because it seemed like the special teams just was not cutting it for the Vegas Golden Knights. So whatever Bruce Cassidy and the organization has done as of late, their penalty kill and their special teams have done stellar as of late. Now, after killing off that penalty kill, unfortunately, the New Jersey Devils would get on the board with about 5 minutes left in the first period as Nico Hischier would have his 13th goal of the season, assisted by Jesper Bratt and Timo Meier. So Nico Hischier with his first goal here for the New Jersey Devils in this game. Former first overall pick back in 2017. And when it comes to him, I look at a guy like Nico, and this is somebody who definitely has shown that he can be a very reliable guy for the New Jersey Devils. And so ever since they drafted him first overall, and then they drafted Jack Hughes around the same time frame, New Jersey has built a young core. And, they were successful last year. This year, they've had a little bit of a dip, unfortunately, 24, 18, and 3 on the season. Not as successful as in the past. Now, about 2 minutes left in the first period, Curtis Lazar with his 5th goal of the season for the New Jersey Devils to make it a 2-1 game as we're getting towards the end of the first period. Nathan Bastian and Eric Holla, the former Vegas Golden Knight, with the assist with about 2 minutes left in the first period. And for Curtis Lazar, this is a journeyman. This is somebody who's been with a bunch of different teams, Vancouver, Boston. Now he has kind of found himself on the bottom 6 out here in New Jersey. And this really is a strength of New Jersey that not a lot of people talk about. And that is the fact that when it comes to the New Jersey Devils, their top 4 lines, they all have some stability there. They all have credibility with New Jersey on all 4 lines. They have veterans being teamed up with young guys. They have bruisers being teamed up with brawlers. So getting towards the end of the first period, Vegas would be down 2-1 in New Jersey. And the Vegas Golden Knights would try to get back in control here. And more importantly for Vegas, they would try to kind of steer the ship a little bit and get it back on the right track. Now, the start of the second period would not do that for the Vegas Golden Knights, as unfortunately, not even 90 seconds into the second period, the New Jersey Devils would get back on the board as Tyler Toffoli, with his 18th goal of the season for the New Jersey Devils, assisted by Kevin Ball and Simon Nemec. So the New Jersey Devils would be up 3-1. And, unfortunately, they would get a 2-goal lead. And New Jersey would look like they're starting to pull away in this game for your Vegas Golden Knights. But have no fear, when you need to have someone to step up, when you need anyone to step up for your Vegas Golden Knights, who you're going to call, right? It's like Ghostbusters, who you're going to call when you need someone to step up and score goals. Because not in the span of 4 minutes, one player for your Vegas Golden Knights didn't just score 1 goal, but he scored 2 in the same period for your Vegas Golden Knights. At a 7-minute mark, Jonathan Marchessault with his 21st of the season, assisted by Caden Korzak and Nick Waugh. So what an incredible job by Jonathan Marchessault, the hot streak he has had as of late. I mean, this is Jonathan Marchessault who has scored 5 goals in the last 4 games. I mean, Jonathan Marchessault just been tearing it up as of late for your Vegas Golden Knights. And you have to give a lot of respect to Jonathan Marchessault for that. Obviously, Nick Waugh with the good assist here to set up the play. And then a few minutes later, Jonathan Marchessault once again with his 2nd goal of the night, 22nd of the season, assisted by Ivan Barbashev and Nick Waugh to tie it up at 3. So think about this for a minute. Just sit back and analyze it. The New Jersey Devils go from having all the momentum, having all the energy, all the stuff is in their favor, all the red jerseys around the stadium are rocking, they're excited for this game. They go from being up by 2 to begin the second period, to then by the middle of the second period to now be down by 1. And I say by 1 because 45 seconds later, after the Jonathan Marchessault goal, after getting his second goal of the game, Chandler Stevenson, he would score the go-ahead goal for your Vegas Golden Knights to make it a 4-3 ball game, as Chandler Stevenson, 8th goal of the season, assisted by Alec Martinez. So Alec Martinez with an assist on that play, and Chandler Stevenson, he had an assist earlier in that game, the first period goal from Dorofeev that possibly could have been his, but obviously he set him up for Pavel Dorofeev. And it was a really good situation. Really good situation to watch and see that Chandler Stevenson was setting up and really doing some good execution in this game. Now, there was a funny moment that happened around this time of the Jonathan Marchessault and Chandler Stevenson goal. And I'm only going to briefly mention this because I know some people in New Jersey are going to complain about it. Some people in New Jersey are going to cry foul, but I got to bring it up. So around the middle of the second period, Brett Howden would get a 2-minute charging penalty against Simon Nemec. And Brett Howden, this was an unfortunate play. I know some people in New Jersey, they wanted to get a 5-minute major. They wanted to get some harsh penalty for Brett Howden. But Kevin Ball would actually retaliate. Brett Howden and Kevin Ball would have a little bit of a back and forth, a scrum between the two. And Brett Howden and Kevin Ball would both go to the box for New Jersey and Vegas, respectively. But yeah, Brett Howden, he just got a charge against Simon Nemec. Then Kevin Ball would come back and answer for his teammate and challenge Brett Howden in the middle of the second period. That's what you like to see in hockey. Regardless of whose team it is, I like the fact that the NHL did not give Brett Howden a 5-minute major for something that really should have been a 2 minutes. So, yeah, people in New Jersey are going to complain, but whatever. Now, 1 minute left in the second period. You would see your Vegas Golden Knights go up by 2 as Nick Waugh with his 8th goal of the season, assisted by Jonathan Marchessault. So Jonathan Marchessault, that would be his 3rd point of the game. Nick Waugh, this would be his first goal and 2 assists earlier in the game. So a 3-point night for Nick Waugh, a 3-point night for Jonathan Marchessault. And this was a really good offensive game for your Vegas Golden Knights to be up 5-3 with a minute to go in the second period. That's really all you can ask for when it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights. Unfortunately for Vegas, the second period would not actually go in the Golden Knights' favor. As with about 15 seconds left in the second period, Tyler Toffoli would score his 2nd goal of the second period, his 19th of the season, assisted by the young up-and-coming Dawson Mercer to make it a 5-4 game for your Vegas Golden Knights. So Vegas, they successfully scored 4 goals in one period. And that's not something you see often, okay? I know we saw it maybe against the St. Louis early on. I know we've also seen it, against a few teams in the past over the last couple of seasons. But when it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights, this is a team that when you really study them and you really analyze it, when they get hot, when they build momentum, when they're riding on all cylinders, when they're going 1,000 RPMs, down the straight, the Vegas Golden Knights are deadly. Okay, Vegas is a deadly team when everyone's on the same page, when everyone is trying to be at the same kind of wavelength with Vegas. Now, the third period was kind of tame for the most part, outside of a tripping penalty on Pavel Dorofeev as he tripped former Vegas Golden Knight Eric Halla. He would go to the box. But the Vegas Golden Knights, for the second time in this game, they would be on the penalty kill, and they would kill off the penalty. So really solid job by the Vegas Golden Knights to go 2 for 2 on the game on the penalty kill. So solid job by Vegas. Unfortunately, halfway into the third period, Curtis Lazar with his second goal of the game, sixth goal of the season for the New Jersey Devils, assisted by Nathan Bastian and Simon Nemec to make it a 5-5 game between Vegas and New Jersey. And because of this being tied at 5, and since there is no ties anymore in the NHL, that means that you had to go into overtime in this matchup here. And for your Vegas Golden Knights, there was a few opportunities to score and get the puck in the back of the net. One that I do have to mention very quickly, because I thought maybe it was going to go in, but it just went off the post. And that was the Jonathan Marchessault. There was a really solid chance for him to get a hat trick, but it just went wide and it just did not go in. But 2 minutes into overtime, Tyler Toffoli would be the one to get the hat trick, not Jonathan Marchessault, as he would get his 20th goal of the season, assisted by Luke Hughes, who is a future, who's going to be the future of the defense in New Jersey. It would be a 6-5 game, an overtime loss for Vegas. And obviously, you don't want to lose, okay? And clearly, you don't want to give up a hat trick to a guy like Tyler Toffoli. But let me give you a positive, okay? Let's break down the positive here in this game. The Vegas Golden Knights overcame a deficit once again. Vegas is becoming the comeback kids of sorts, okay? They're becoming the comeback misfits of sorts. Because when it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights, they are able to not, be down and not kind of look at a negative way when they are down by 1 goal or 2 goals. No, they manage to always overcome it. The energy, the hustle, the quickness, the speed. That's how Vegas is doing in this game. And that's what they showed in that second period, to score 4 goals in 1 period and get up by 2 at one point in this game. You also score 1 point. And for anyone who's watched hockey long enough, every point counts. Regardless if it's 2 points for a win or 1 point for an overtime loss, when you get towards the end of the season, okay, and we're getting towards the end of the schedule, and you're counting all of those points, and they're racking up towards seeding, they're racking up towards being a playoff team and being out of the playoffs, trust me, when you get an overtime loss here, that could mean the difference between being in the playoffs and being a wild card. It could mean the difference between being a wild card and being out of the playoffs entirely. So, hey, as someone who is a Vegas Golden Knights fan, as someone who's been watching the Golden Knights for the last 7 years, I will happily take 1 point. You will happily take 1 point, because your Vegas Golden Knights need every point they can throughout an entire 82-game season. So, unfortunately, a 6-5 loss against the New Jersey Devils in this game tonight. And, I mean, when you really stop and analyze everything that happened here, and you're actually breaking down what's going on for the Vegas Golden Knights. So, this is their win-loss record right here, and you're seeing it on the screen. I mean, your Vegas Golden Knights at this point in time, to have that many games over 500, you're still battling with Vancouver. Edmonton has really been heating up, and oh my gosh, Edmonton's been heating up as of late. And then you have the LA Kings, who are still in the battle. They're still kind of in the hunt at this moment in time. But your Vegas Golden Knights, your win-loss record, as you see on the screen right here, it just tells everyone who's watching the show, Vegas has an ability to be a playoff team. We all know it. Now, when you have an injury to someone vital in the top 6, it does cause question marks. But I appreciate what Jonathan Marchessault has done. The fact that he has stepped up and has taken that production that Jack Eichel normally does. the fact that you have Chandler Stevenson and Ivan Barbashev, and heck, even Nick Waugh being on the top 6 now, you're seeing a team that is battling and fighting and scratching and clawing to win games. And this is also the same Vegas Golden Knights team. Most people do not realize this. They have not lost many games in this month since they had that skid early on in the season. I mean, when you go back to the Boston game, you beat Boston in overtime, then you beat Nashville, you beat New York, you beat Pittsburgh, and then this is really the first loss that they have had that was as bad as maybe, I would say, probably the loss that they had against St. Louis a while back, where you were in control, you had the lead, and then you managed to lose it late in the third period. So when it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights, let's break down the stats really quickly in this game. We also have to give player of the game. That's something that we do for every single Vegas Hockey Hub recap. And if this isn't anybody but Jonathan Marchessault, I don't know who else it could be. Now, yes, Nick Waugh had 3 points on the night. Chandler Stevenson had a goal and an assist. There is some other players you could mention, but a 2-goal performance by Jonathan Marchessault and the fact that he scored back-to-back goals in the span of a couple of minutes, he deserves player of the game in this matchup here. So Jonathan Marchessault, player of the game for your Vegas Golden Knights in this matchup that they had. And the team stats in this game, wow, so many shots happened in this matchup. You had 70 shots combined. All right, once again, 70 shots combined. 38 for New Jersey, 32 for the Vegas Golden Knights. New Jersey had one more hit than Vegas did, 11-10. Vegas had 3 penalties. New Jersey only had 1. And keep in mind, that penalty was Kevin Ball retaliating against Brett Howden for when he did a charge against Simon Nemec. The faceoff circle, the Vegas Golden Knights won 54% of their faceoffs. So a solid job there on the faceoff circle for your Vegas Golden Knights. The power play, Vegas did not have a single power play opportunity, but they were 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. The block shots for Vegas, 17-11. And the Vegas Golden Knights had one more takeaway than New Jersey, 5 for Vegas, 4 for New Jersey. So the upcoming schedule for your Vegas Golden Knights is this is the first game in their road stand that they're going to be doing. So you're going to be taking on the New York Islanders tomorrow. And then you have the New York Rangers and Detroit Red Wings to kind of wrap up this road stand before you head home against the Edmonton Oilers. So this is going to be an incredible situation being in the Northeast for your Vegas Golden Knights. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be really interesting to see your Vegas Golden Knights compete and really go head-to-head with the best teams in the Eastern Conference. I mean, New York Rangers have been one of the best teams, and you're playing at MSG, Madison Square Garden, iconic venue. Detroit looks like a playoff team at this moment. New York Islanders kind of had a rough, rocky start to the year. Maybe they'll start to figure it out by the middle of the season. But for your Vegas Golden Knights, this is Vegas Hockey Hub Recap. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. Once again, go to prconnectionsradio.com, the voice of new media, and check out all of the amazing content we have here on the network. And follow your host at Ian J. Rachiele on all social media platforms. And until next time, continue watching hockey, go support junior hockey, and go Knights, go.